right, start every day and run with every day like it is. Very interesting as we have a number of a lineup for your viewing pleasure. We're here to educate you, entertain you, and of course, inform you. Today we're going to be talking trending issues and paper review where we're going to be having our guest analyst, the person of Mr. Boni Akeze, coming here to talk about some of these issues that are trending in our society today. And of course, we have our interview corner where we'll be talking about something very important in Delta State today. Welcome once again. I'm Chizi Awuno. Well, I'm not here alone. I'm beautiful Lilibet Ugochukwu, fairest of them all. Good morning, Lily.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing it okay. Chizi,
Welcome.
how are you doing?
I'm fine. You
Thank
look
God.
red and ready. Yes.
Moving forward. But that's all we need. We just want to move forward. We in the mortuary. So on that note, I'd like to say thank God for your life and our lives. Thank you so much for joining us on Monday Morning Ride, Thursday's edition.
So, Lily, speaking about opportunity to leave, someone said to me yesterday that we complain so much about the economy, but what a lot of people don't know is that going out and coming back in safety is actually the biggest flex in Nigeria at the moment. So yes,
It is.
according to Lilibet, be thankful that you're not in the mortuary. I mean, when there's life, there's hope. It's an old adage, but I think it's so true because things can change for anyone in a split second. So just keep working and keep the hope up. Okay, so today is a beautiful day, the 27th day in the month of March. And today the world is celebrating World Theatre Day.
Yeah.
And while I was coming to work, I was just telling myself, I said, I think those who act in the theater are somehow unsung heroes, because I know one day I was saying, are these people that act Nollywood movies? Of course, I know you do that as well. You're a thespian. But I think that those that act in the theater are like the biggest heroes. And I will tell you why. Those that act the normal Nollywood movie, you have just a few persons who are there, like the production crew, who are there telling you what to do. But you see, theater, you are faced literally with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yes, you're faced with the crowd to do your thing, and you just don't have any excuse than to do well and to carry it out as successfully as you can. Now, World Theatre Day is celebrated every year on the 27th of March, designated by the International Theatre Institute, ITI, in 1961. This day celebrates the excess, beauty, and importance of theatre arts, their significant role in entertainment, and the symbolic impact that theatre has on life. This day also serves to inform government, politicians, institutions, and stakeholders around the world who have not yet realized the value of theatre to the people and its potential for economic growth. Okay, now, today, the World Theatre Day, the theme for today is theatre as a beacon of hope and national rebirth. Now, you might be wondering how to celebrate today being World Theatre Day. I'll help you out. Myself and Lilibet will help you out on this set. One thing you can do is to visit your local theater today, maybe with your kids and friends, to go watch a live drama. Okay, you can also join a World Theatre Day event starting from today. You can also involve your children. A lot of children have talents that are yet to be harnessed. So yes, please do the needful to celebrate World Theatre today. Now, I'll tell you something a little bit. While I was growing up, there's this theater that my parents used to take us to. We literally used to look forward to it every year, and it usually held around August, because I know we used to have vacated school
Yeah.
before the theater, and we used to look forward to it. In fact, we used to be in our best behavior
So that
just because
you will
we
attend.
want to attend. I think it was called Kudu at the time, and trust me, you could see raw talent on stage, and that's why I said I think those that act in the theater are unsung heroes, because it's raw talent.
Yeah.
But if you're acting in
On screen.
on screen,
You can make
hear
mistakes.
take one,
Yes, can make
take
mistakes and
two.
be edited.
Yes, exactly. But for that, and then if you see some of these persons who act this drama, they go for multiple roles, and they are so fast. Before
To
you know, they are
switch
they are
roles.
off the stage. Before you know, they are back again. It's raw talent. I'll
It's
tell
talent.
you.
Yes. Right. So speaking about theater, I remember when I first did in fact, my first appearance on stage was when I was still serving, when I was a youth corper
Yes.
in Osun State. You know, it was the state's theater outfit. And I really don't know how. I think it was one of the visits of the LGR or ZI then.
Okay.
Yes, to the orientation camp, and the way I performed, and it was like, oh no, this lady, she will be good in this aspect. So put her there, and that gave me the privilege to stay in the capital. Some of my friends, they posted them to other places, you know,
Yeah.
but that gave me the privilege to stay in the state capital and serve in the capital, in the library then. So it even gives you avenue to meet with people. It gives you opportunity to go wide. So I remember when I was on stage, it was a very beautiful thing. You know,
But was there
you just
stage
feel
fright?
like there was no stage fright. For
Oh,
me,
really? Okay.
there was no stage fright.
Wow.
People get stage fright. Maybe
Yes.
if it's not an inborn thing, and if it's your first time, you get stage fright. Yes, I won't take that away. But for me, there was no stage fright. I think it was inborn. So when I got to the stage, and you have to make use of the stage,
Yeah.
it was so beautiful, and I miss those days. I can tell you now that these days we don't really see this theater
We rarely.
stuff.
We
don't-
rarely.
yeah, we don't see it, and it's a clarion call for those in the field to start organizing theater drama.
Even if it's a yearly thing.
A yearly thing is even
Yes.
too far. It's too far. It should be a reoccurring thing. We need to celebrate our culture.
Right.
Then we celebrated the Osun culture, the dress code, the way they spoke. In fact, I remember my name then, Abike, and that name followed me all through till I finished service.
That's probably because you performed very well.
Yes, and that was my name in the drama.
Yes.
Abike, you know, when I walk on the road, someone call me Abike, I will know that's my name. So I bear Abike then, and I was bearing my name. So it's one thing that we need to embrace. And as Africans, we do these things very well. I want to believe that we do it well, even more than the Western world. The Western world,
Yes.
I think what they really do is movies.
Right.
But African, this
We
is
do
our culture,
showcasing
it's
of-
our pride.
yes.
So we should bring
Culture.
it back to life.
Yes.
Let's bring it back to life. Theater is one very beautiful thing, I can assure you.
I look
So let's
forward
look
to
at-
something like that.
Okay, yeah. So let's look at the history of World Theater Day. It said since ancient Greece, theater has been a popular form of art and entertainment, thrilling its audience and leaving them in awe. Not only does it entertain and educate, but theater also combines various art forms to give its live audience a real stage experience which they can't find anywhere else. World Theater Day is celebrated annually on March 27, promoted by the ITI through its centers and supported by theater communities all over the world. The day was initiated by ITI following President Avi Kivama's June 1961 proposal at the 9th World Congress of the ITI in Vienna. On behalf of the ITI's Finnish Center for a World Theatre Day to be instituted, the proposal was supported by the Scandinavian centers of the ITI and publicized with enthusiasm. Now, the next year, on March 27, 1962, World Theatre Day was celebrated by ITI centers, ITI cooperating members, theatre professionals, and theatre organizers. Today, the day is celebrated in the 90 ITI centers throughout the world, with theatre universities, academics, schools, and theatre lovers all around the globe joining in the day's observance.
Right.
Yeah.
Another reason, there are quite a number of reasons why we love World Theatre Day. One is that it promotes the beauty of theatre in all forms. It raises global awareness about forms of theatre. It also enables theatre communities to promote their work on a bigger scale. Liliver talked about that before. So I think this is the point where we'll give a big shout out to thespians that we have in this our community. I'm talking of DBS. So we'll start with our producer in person of Nimibofa Ozibo. She's an amazing thespian.
Yes,
and then and then we have Onome Yarowe, head of TV services, and then we have producer Ufoma, yes, the magic finger, the MC Arrow, who works there tirelessly. We also have Oke, Sharon, and of course our own girl Temitope. Ire, Sugar, and an amazing thespian. You know what? We see the work that you all put in, and we do not take it for granted at all. And I'm hoping that after this morning ride, I'm hoping that our producer, in person of Nimi Bofa, will take us out to see a theater where the actual action will be happening today. I will be more than glad to go there. Well, it's still Thursday's edition of Morning Ride. I don't know if you have any other thing to add, Lilibet.
About the theater day?
Theater day or any other thing.
Well, for the theater day, I think we have actually said all that we need to say. And we talked about taking your children out, going to theaters to visit any theater that is probably doing something today. I want to believe that something
should be happening today. Yes,
I want to believe that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the theater day. Now we have other celebrations today, national celebrations. We have the Scribble Day. We have Country Music Song Title Day. For those that love country music, if you love country music, like the Don Moen, the Dolly Parton, those are country music. So if you love them, it's a day to celebrate today. And we have National Medical Science Liaison Awareness and Appreciation Day. National Medical Science Liaison Awareness and Appreciation Day. Now, this day is marked on the 27th of March annually. All medical science liaisons from all across the world should be recognized on this special day. Medical science liaisons are medical professionals generally linked with the medical affairs departments of pharmaceutical and technology corporations. The majority of them have an extensive background in science and academic credentials, but the majority holding a doctorate in the biological sciences. Yeah, so we need to celebrate our heroes today. They are the ones that the pharmaceutical area, they are the ones that actually help in the medical field. Now, a little history of National Medical Science Liaison Awareness and Appreciation Day. Initially established by Upjohn Pharmaceuticals in 1967 in response to the need for scientifically trained field personnel who would be able to establish rapport with key opinion leaders in a variety of therapeutic areas of research. Medical science liaisons have grown to become a global organization. Now, Upjohn Pharmaceuticals required field personnel to create ties with prominent medical practitioners to have more meaningful discussions with these external specialties, as well as other healthcare providers and other stakeholders. The corporation then recognized sales representatives with significant scientific understanding and the ability to deliver a higher level of clinical and educational skills in the medical professionals with whom they were interacting as potential sales representatives. So this is just to appreciate and encourage our healthcare providers, the pharmacists. We know we have Doctors' Day, Nurses' Day, and all. So today is for the pharmacists. We need to appreciate them. At least they study medicine. They give you the right drug that you need. You know, when you're talking about treatment and you don't talk about the pharmacists, then you have not started treatment at all. Sometimes people even prefer to go to the pharmacist to explain things, and because they know a lot about drugs. So we have to give it to them. We cannot take it away from them that they are trying in their field. So as we celebrate this day, National Medical Science Liaison Awareness and Appreciation Day, I want you to go to any pharmaceutical shop and just appreciate the
I just tell the pharmacist, thank you.
Just tell the person, thank you, and I appreciate you for all that you do. Because they study these drugs. They don't only dispense drugs. They study these drugs. They know a whole lot about these drugs, and they can tell you you can react to this, you may not react to this. So we appreciate them today.
Well, you're very right, Lilibet. Pharmacists actually do the most, because there are times when you go to a pharmacy and you show the pharmacy prescribed drugs, even though some persons will tell you follow your doctor's prescription.
Yeah.
Well, you might get to the pharmacy, and if you're lucky to see the pharmacist,
Yes.
he would be able to tell you, oh no, you might react to this, or no, your body size can't take this. So I think pharmacies actually do the most, but somehow in Nigeria, I think we abuse these privileges, because some persons, because they know that there's a pharmacy at the corner, they usually will not bother going to the hospital anymore, and it's so wrong. You need to see your doctor, because most times in Nigeria, when people are sick, it's malaria.
Yeah.
Yes, and then
Very common.
yes, very common. And then when they get to the pharmacy, the first thing they will tell you is, oh, I have malaria. Give me malaria drugs, you know. But when you get to the hospital, it's funny, because what you think might be wrong with you might not be what will be wrong with you. So yes, as we celebrate pharmacists today, especially if you have friends who are pharmacists, because if you have friends who are pharmacists, it's another flex. It means your time will not be wasted if you go there. So we say kudos to them for their professionalism in this career, and we hope that somehow today we will start to rule out quackery from some of these places where drugs are sold, because sometimes you have persons who are not pharmacists in the counter selling drugs, which is a no-no. So please, as you visit your doctor today, remember to celebrate your pharmacist today. Yes. So that's that on that. All right, we'll take a break now, and then when we come back, it will be time to talk some more. Don't go anywhere. right, welcome back. It is now time for our paper review, and of course, our paper analyst is here with us already in person of Comrade Bonnie Akeze, and Lilibet Ugochukwu is also in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
All right, we have a number of papers with us here on the dailies, and they are fully packed. First, here with us, we have the Daily Independent, we have the Nation newspaper, we have the Vanguard newspaper, we have These Days newspaper, Nigerian Tribune will be next, we have the Daily Trust newspaper, we have the New Telegraph newspaper, we have the Punch newspaper, we have the Daily Sun newspaper, we also have the Daily Times newspaper, and lastly, we have the Guardian newspaper. Very quickly, we dive right into the Daily Independent newspaper. And first, here, buzzing on our headline, the screaming headline says, Reps consider bill to strip VP, governors, deputies of immunity. Wow. You might want to know what that is about. And at the top strip there of the Daily Independent newspaper, we have Nigeria's judiciary facing blackmail, Shetima laments. And by the corner there of the Daily Independent newspaper, we have Senate's OK's bill for mandatory citizen registration. And that story there has a rider that says to probe raising cost of data services. Another story here says bills to create 4 state-scale second reading at Reps. The rider there says lawmakers probe 1.24 trillion naira Sukuk Road project pending. Another story here says FG pays core members 77 monthly allowance. This on page 6. This and many more you can. Okay, one more story here says INEC begins move to recall Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. Rider to that story says notifies Kogi Central Senator of recall move. Natasha, another writer says Natasha accuses INEC of bias. This and many more you can find on the Daily Independent newspaper.
All right, the Nation newspaper is next for review. CJN Fashola warned against rising misconduct among lawyers. The writer says legal practitioners have deviated from rules. Don't be swayed by the mob, Shetima tells judges. INEC notifies Natasha's Senate of recall petition. Ibax fires Fubara's political appointees. Rider says councils ordered to render accounts. Only 1% of rich Nigerians pay tax. Adeleke OK scam for clash victims. 20 states yet to fully implement contributory pensions scheme. DMO declares 1.9 trillion naira Sukuk proceeds. Court throws out case against Xenox boss Eke and others. Edo government ratifies suspension of 71 Enigi by Oba of Benin, Ewari II. Details on page 5. Okay, so that's all we'll take on the Nation newspaper.
All right, the Vanguard newspaper is next here, and first on the headline says INEC Tinubu shops for Yakubu's replacement. And there are riders to that story, so many riders. So we'll move to another story. This one here says senators differ over call to immortalize Humphrey Wonsu. That's on page 9. You might want to know what that's about. We have another story here that says Reps move to strip VP, governors, deputy governors of their immunity. At the bottom strip here, we have this one that says Rep sole administrator suspends all political appointees. And the writer to that story says it's time for dialogue. Diri, this is by Diri. And the last writer there says Tinubu acts based on misinformation, sacked Rivers LGA buses. At the bottom here still, we have reps approved bill to enlist Lagos 37 LCDAs. Okay, these and many more you can get on the Vanguard newspaper. Please do grab yourself a copy.
This day newspaper is next. The screaming story. House moves to strip vice presidents, governors, and their deputies of immunity. Alleged 106 alleged 1,062. Okay, let's see that story. 162 million. Alleged 162 million fraud. Court dismisses Falana's suit against Xenox chairman and others. Right, and the rider to that head story of article National Assembly leadership is corrupt. The rider says PDP is weak because its leaders are compromised. INEC notifies Kogi senator of recall process, acknowledges receipt of petitioner's details. In landmark deal, MTN, Airtel agree on network infrastructure sharing in Nigeria. Details on page 12. Alright, that's it on this day newspaper.
Alright, here with me I have the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, and the screaming headline that is also making waves on other papers says reps move to strip VP, governors, deputy governors of immunity. That story is on page 3, 5, and 11. And the writer to that story says constitutional amendment bill seeks role for traditional rulers. Another writer there says set to consider 8 devolution of power bills for second reading. The last writer here says to probe over 1.24 trillion naira sukuk spent on 124 road projects. At the bottom here we have Rivers crisis. It's time for dialogue. This is by Bayelsa government. The writer there says pleads for Tinubu NAS to set up a reconciliation committee, and that's on page 11. At the top here we have presidential directive, customs suspends import duty VAT on pharmaceutical raw materials. And by the side here, also on other papers, says INEC notifies Natasha of recall process, confirms petitioners have rectified errors. Wow. Okay, these are many more you can get on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper.
Daily Trust is next. Constitution amendments. Immunity debate. What is good for president is good for vice president. Okay, of course. 112 persons killed in Niger tanker explosions in 3 months. CJN raises concern over unethical conduct of lawyers. Niger's Chiani sworn in for 5-year transition period. Zenith Bank's earning hits 3.97 trillion naira, records 1.3 trillion naira PBT. Recall, INEC confirms petition, notifies Natasha. Senate pushes for lower data price. I'm also pushing for that. Lakura kills 2 custom officers, 1 other in Kebbi. That's a sad story. Alright, that's it on the Daily Trust.
Alright, here we have the New Telegraph newspaper, and the headline first making here the wave says Fubara PDP governors drag Tinubu NAS before Supreme Court. And the writer to that story says suspended governor for slapping Okay, suspended governor was slapping democracy in the face. This is by APC spokesperson. Another writer says it's time for dialogue, and this is by Diri. This one here says Pandefs seeks emergency rule reversal in Rivers, hails Tinubu Nas on regional commission law as Rivers ex-LG bosses visit Hobara declare loyalty. The last writer there says, so administrator suspends all political office holders. I'm sorry, it's funny, but it's not funny.
This suspension is becoming
It's hot.
I love it.
Okay, at the top here we have Tinubu signs Southwest South Debt Commission bills into law. This is on page 2 and 25. By the side here says Shetima to judiciary shun temptation of tinkering with justice. Okay, these and many more you can get on the New Telegraph newspaper.
The Punch newspaper is next. 91 groups seek INEC registration as coalition talks gathers gem. Writer says electoral body says no application rejected as opposition gears up to challenge ruling party. The top strip page 5 says states oppose bill seeking immunity removal from VP governors and deputies. On page 20 we have Natasha recall INEC notifies Senate as constituents submit petition. On page 16, legal profession facing ethical challenges, says CJM. Reps move to convert 37 Lagos LCDAs to LGs. Details on page 20. On pages 4 and 5, traffic snarl as motorists battle flood on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Page 21 has review hike in data cost. Senate tells NCC. Page 16 says new constitution. Anyoku Yakasai Osoba to meet National Assembly. And on page 2 we have Rivers emergency rule. PDP governors ask Supreme Court to reinstate Fubara. Ibas sacks appointees. And that's it on the Punch newspaper.
All right, we have the Daily Sun newspaper here. First here on the headline says, reps move to strip VP, deputy governors of immunity. Says, the writer there says, lawmakers seek measures to strengthen electronic accreditation system. Another story here says, Rivers, Ibas sacks SSG commissioners, other political appointees. Diri urges NAS to set up a reconciliation committee. Okay, that's that. We have more stories, so please do grab yourself a copy of the Daily Sun newspaper.
Daily Time is next. Fireworks as Senate moves to immortalize Wusu. We also have 26,000 children held in correctional centers annually. This according to Tunji Ojo. Halt downturn in ethical standards of legal professionals. CJN charges body of ventures. Salah. Police assure of security in Kano amid tension over parallel Dover. Core members jubilate as 77,000 naira allowance hits accounts. Okay, and finally, reps investigate 5% road maintenance user charge. That's it on the Daily Times.
Okay, we now take the last but not the least paper, the Guardian newspaper. And first here, the headline says, National Automotive Policy in Limbo, 136 billion naira investment stock. I wonder where stock to, but please you can check page 6 to know where stock. And then on this one we have court dismisses fraud case against Xenox chairman and others. This story here says local research output lacks depth for National Planning, says Olaoba. We have the story here that says concerns over spate of constitutional amendment delayed states police bill. By the side here, the story says Natasha in Senate, an error we are set to correct. Constituents insist. Okay, I'm hoping the constituents who are insisting know what they are campaigning for or against. All right, let's get back to the studio. Mr. Boni Akeze is still very much here with us in the studio. Welcome once again, sir.
Welcome, Chizi.
So, sir, we're reading the dailies, and you could see that the dailies are packed. So many stories to talk about, so many stories to visit. But I would love to take this one first that says reps move to strip VP governors, deputy governors of immunity. And I'll read into that story very quickly. That says on Wednesday, the House of Representatives passed through the second reading a bill seeking to retain the immunity of the office of the president and move immunity from the vice president, the governor, and the deputy governor. Now, the bill was one of the 42nd considered and passed through the second reading stage during the plenary section presided over by Deputy Speaker Mr. Benjamin Kalu. Okay, I might want to go where to say who sponsored the bill, but there's really no need for that. Let's dive right into it. Why do they have to leave the president out and take immunity from the vice president, the governor, and the deputy governor? I mean, what is good for the goose should certainly be good for the gander as well.
Okay, I don't want to approach it from that perspective.
Okay.
Every law, every bill sent to the Congress or the Parliament to be enacted into law originated as a policy. If you do policy analysis and policy administration, it's a policy, and the policy and that policy is always targeted to cure some societal ills or prevent certain societal ills from taking a root or from happening. So in this case, I'm sure if my addition serves me right, I think they are referring to Section 308 of the Constitution. That's 1999. That's
yes,
where the issue.
Yes.
That's where the issue of immunity. So I want to say maybe the media did not, because I've gone. I listened to this thing yesterday. Maybe the media has not reported fully to enable this proposal to enable citizens make informed decision. Originally, the immunity and the Constitution covers criminal charges. You know, it didn't cover civil issues.
Yes.
So now the people or whoever moved sponsoring that bill, I'm sure in the details of the proposal for the alteration, but have given details of what motivated such proposal for the alteration, and the entire house we debate it and establish the veracity or otherwise of that. So I think we are going to wait, but at this stage where it is, I don't see. You see, it seems to me that we don't even seem to understand what a federal structure is. But everything is about the president. Everything is about the president. He's the father of the country. He's the overlord. So we have a long way to go. once somebody becomes a president, everybody begin to pander to his
That's to his tune.
body language, to his prestige, to his. For goodness sake, the president is the number one servant of the nation. He's not an emperor. He's not an overlord. He's not. So I don't know, because when we talk about this democracy, I insisted that Nigeria did not transit to democratic rule in 1999. We transited to civil rule. And we are struggling to make our country a democratically ruled country. And we are not making any headway. I saw the debate whether democracy has collapsed and has not collapsed. Has he ever taken off? Look at the tenets of democracy, the rule of law. Can we say that Nigeria will be accounted among the nations of the world where the rule of law is sacrosanct? Your guess is as good as mine. Look at free, fair, and credible election. Political participation. Can we say Nigeria is be accounted among those who have passed that threshold? Look at free speech, freedom of expression, civil liberty, freedom of assembly. Can we say Nigeria is there? So come on, what are we talking about?
Well,
when we were ruled by monarchs, the days of empire before the emergence of the Nigerian state, when we have kingdoms and empire, they were not military men. It was a civil rule, but they were despotic. So don't make the mistake that once you have, once the military is out, any other type of rule except the military is democratic rule. It is not. That is not what we were taught from secondary school government to my political science classes.
Okay. All right. Let's just look at this story about corruption. In fact, it's been alarming. CJN Fashola warned against rising misconduct among lawyers. And it says there's an urgent need to arrest the ethical misconduct that has crept into the legal professional. This was said by former Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola. The former Minister of Works got the backing of Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Kudirat Kekereekun, and the Chairman of the Body of Benchers, BOB, Chief Adegboyega Awomolo San. Now, he is saying that he's warning against rising misconduct amongst lawyers. What would you say about that? Would you agree with him? The misconduct among lawyers, do you think it is from the bottom, or it came from the top to the bottom? Because I know in some cases when you say the head is bad, it affects the whole body. So what would you say about that, talking about corrupt practices?
Did you read Olarotim's book, Holding Talks? There's that book by Olarotimi, Holding Talks. Nigerians were very good at holding talks. Of course, what do you expect the CJN? She has said what she ought to say. But by my training, I am trained to look at things from a multidimensional perspective, and especially to look at causes and effects. That is my training. So the Nigerian lawyers, are they not Nigerians? What is that aspect? What is that aspect, that sector of our Nigerian society, that impunity, that unethical conduct is not the norm? We have, okay, look at what, it's all the debate over suspension and non-suspension. The body, everything has shifted to the judiciary now. They have to go to court. We didn't need to get to that point. We didn't need to get to that. If the National Assembly had done what they are supposed to do, perhaps we would, because the Constitution is very clear that on certain things you need such and such vote of the National Assembly, House of Reps and Senate to determine it. You went to do, okay, like the yea and the nay. How can you say what percentage? How can you establish? People have said, the closest example we had to this is during the time of Senate President Kenan Namani, when the issue of what do you call it, third term, when it was alleged that President Obasanjo was seeking third term. He saw it as an issue of a serious national attention. He did not just go to the floor of the Senate and say the ayes and the nays. No. He said, first of all, he said all the members of the National Assembly should return to their constituencies, those people they represent, to go and consult them.
Okay.
And then when they came back, he said the voting, in fact, the consideration of the decision was the issue was going to be debated live. That is going to be covered. It's going to be telecasted live to the world, and so that everybody will see how everybody voted. There was electronic listen. Everybody will see who has the views. I will come so that I will say that my children, I will tell my children when this thing happened that our rep in the National Assembly, this was the position, both our senator and our House of Rep member, this was the position they held. Nobody can say anything about what happened. So you see,
this issue,
don't expect my take covering this thing. The CJN should not expect that by mere studying law in the university and be called to bar, that you have become an exceptional Nigerian. You have become a special species of Nigeria. If lawyers were so above board, if lawyers are so that legal profession keeps everybody automatically elevates you to a superhuman, who is who cannot be unethical, who cannot be corrupt. Shakespeare will not say that the fool's mansion, that the lawyer's mansion is built on the head of fools. Shakespeare is not a Nigerian. Shakespeare is not an African. But he said that Shakespeare lived during what we call the Enlightenment era. So that's how many centuries ago. So it is not different. Lawyers are not different from accountants. They are not different from doctors. We have seen doctors who, a doctor was implicated in a Kweremadus case that he was involved in the dealing for organ harvesting. We have seen accountants that, they have been implicated, aiding and abetting fraud. We have seen police. So everywhere we have seen journalists that have always been accused of a brown envelope.
It's just everywhere.
We have seen lecturers. We have seen lecturers that have been accused of ethical conduct, sexual harassment, sorting, awarding on undeserved marks. So
even the National Assembly article is stating now that National Assembly leadership is corrupt, and the writer is saying PDP is weak because of its corrupt leaders, or its leaders are compromised. So I don't want to believe it's just PDP alone. It has to do with every sector. Like
so it's not about lawyers.
Okay.
But as somebody at that level, of course, she has to. In communication, remember, you are a journalist now. In communication theory, that's what we call ritual communication. You say what you're supposed to say. In policy, they call it political correctness.
Okay, Mr. Bonny, let's talk about this case that happened yesterday at the Red Chambers. The way it was also rejected. Now, rejecting the motion to immortalize Humphrey Nwosu being very undemocratic. This is according to Victor Ume. Now, I'll quote him. He said, "I think it is a question of people not being fair to a man who has done so well, and instead of giving him his accolade, we want to be uncharitable to him even unto death." This motion came yesterday at the most timely moment, because he will be buried on Friday, 2 days away. Now, he goes on to say, so there is no way we cannot talk about his contribution in the parliament. Those who have opposing views will say that the man should not be immortalized. Those who say he should be immortalized should say their views. Shutting down the motion the way it was done yesterday was undemocratic. Now, just for people who might not know who Professor Nwosu was, Professor Nwosu was the chairman of the defunct National Electoral Commission, which conducted the June 1993 presidential election that produced the late MKO Abiola as winner, and was adjourned by many at the most credible election. Okay, it was adjudged by many as the most credible election conducted in Nigeria.
Okay, so you see, the National Assembly, whether the Senate or the House of Representatives, they are parliament. One of the fundamental things you go to parliament to do is to hold debate. Debate is to distill, to give everybody opportunity to contribute, and to see the pros and cons, two sides, different sides of a particular issue. So, the only place where people speak with one voice is in the cemetery. That's deep. That is the only place where people speak with one voice. So anybody who expects that in the parliament, you see, anytime you see in the parliament and there's something just come and say, everybody say, yeah, watch it. Watch it. So, but the good thing is that I also watched Victor May and the thing. He said the thing, they have accepted that the motion will be represented today.
Okay. Yes, he did that.
So let's watch what is going to happen today. The popular thing, including the side of the belief I hold on Humphrey Nwosu and June 12, after reading publications,
yes,
and listening to him, you know, at when he had opportunity to speak on the matter, and confirmation from the views of some other people who were close in the arena, in the turf,
yes,
where these things played out. There's no way anybody will not conclude that Humphrey Nwosu was the hero.
Yes, the unsung hero
of that edition.
Yeah.
But there may be facts we don't know. That's why the position of them. So let those who said he is not worthy of that recognition, let them also, because those whose view we had that led to our conclusion is what we know. So those who have alternative, opposite view, they should bring it out, so that by the time we weigh them, we will know whether they are saying the truth, or we know who is saying the truth. Then lastly, what people continue to talk about Humphrey Nwosu is about June 12th,
Yes.
and option A4. Humphrey Nwosu did not only conduct June 12th. He had conducted election to the State House of Assembly, conducted the election to the governors. Governors were in place. National Assembly, House of Rep, and Senate were in place. And I did a study on Nigerian electoral management system. Those elections were part of the elections that, in comparison to what we have been doing even before, after that, devoid of electoral petitions. So you see that those set of elections, that a kind of confidence was beginning to be built. Then there's another misconception. People just, when you say option A4, people think option A4 is just about lining up, everybody lining up behind the candidate of their choice. They put a poster of the person and everybody lines up. No. You see, what is option A4? It was Omo Omorui's panel, Professor Omo Omorui panel, that brought different options for the conduct of election. And Humphrey Nwosu finally, it was when they criticized the issue, or after the governorship and the National Assembly election, that they criticized the issue of lining up, that it does not guarantee secret, the right to secret ballot. So Humphrey Nwosu, so they amended it. He now said, okay, fine, they will not just count people who lined up. That the voting will be by open secret. That is there were options. Option 1, 2, 3, 3. There option 2. Then there was now option A4. So that option that was A4, option A, option, A1, A2, it was the fourth one. That's why they call it option A4.
Okay.
What the option A4 was a modification of the direct open balloting, where you have to queue behind your preferred candidate. What he did was now that the people will line up to be accredited, but the ballot box will be in the open. There will be a booth where you go and thumbprint in secret. The thinking is that your right to secret ballot is at the time of thumbprinting, but putting the ballot into the box should be done in the open.
Okay.
That is what we are still practicing today.
Yeah,
so when people say option A4, well, can we go back to option A4? That system that he was introduced, that is what is still.
So personally, do you think
so the option A4 was not just people line up, you count them and declare. No. Option A4, that one was direct open ballot. Option A4 modified it and said when people line up to accredit, to thumbprint, but you come back in the open. What we used to do is that the ballots will be in a closet.
Okay.
The ballot box will be in a closet, and you thumbprint in the closet and put it in the ballot. Yes. So option A4 now said, okay, no, thumbprint in the privacy in the closet, but come to the open.
Okay,
to come and drop the ballot. So that was the modification it made to that counting and declaring results. So people should.
That's what we still practice.
Yeah. So people just when they saw option A4, they say you come and queue, they count, no, that was not what option A4 did. What it was directed at was one. Okay, why they went to open ballot was the issue of vote buying and what they call it, stuffing of the ballot box. So to avoid the stuffing, that was they said, okay, come and put it in the open, so that we see that if you are giving one ballot, you vote, you put only one ballot. Not that you already have conceived this thing. When you have the privacy, you just stuff this thing.
Okay.
That was what I said. So, but your right to secret ballot, that secret voting, is still retained.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Bonny Akeze. I would say that you have done justice to giving us more insight and better understanding.
Taking us back to
history.
Yeah.
Taking us back to history. I'll say you did amazing with that. So thank you so
man.
much.
It's my
All
pleasure.
right,
Thank
we've been
you.
speaking with Mr. Boni Akeze, our paper analyst. Well, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking with our next guest in person of Honorable Emapo Odogun, and he's the executive assistant to the governor on community development, and he's going to be talking to us on governance and development driving progress in Delta State. Don't go anywhere. It's still Thursday's edition of Morning Ride. We'll be right back. beautiful Thursday's edition of Morning Ride, and I'm excited. I don't even know why, but here with me, I have Honorable Mwapo Odogu, and he's Executive Assistant to the Governor on Community Development. And we'll be talking to him on governance and development, driving progress in Delta State. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All
I'm
right.
happy to be here with you.
dream.
And yes, and
Thank you.
they also
That
call
one
him
day.
Mr. I have a dream.
We'll get the desired
We'll get the
better
desired-
state that
oh.
we all
Right.
have been yearning for, and that time is now.
Okay.
I think that's part of why I'm excited, because you have a dream and big dreams actually come true. Yes. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, very quickly, we dive right in. Well, you've talked about the need for cooperation between the government and the traditional leaders. Can you give examples of how this partnership can help community development?
Yes, a times people do complain that the government is not carrying them along.
Okay.
They do things out of their own perspective.
That's
without
those are the rural area.
those with the rural, even in the urban cities.
Okay.
But now, especially this government, has taken that initiative of needs assessment, whereby they will interact with the people. Like recently, I think about 2 months ago, the government, through the Office of the Community Development, they invited all the president generals of all the communities in Delta State, and the governor personally have an interaction with them, so that there can be a free flow of information between the government and the communities. It's sure whereby if whatever that the government is doing in these various communities, it will be that we meet their very needs. You get it now?
Yeah.
And if they also have any challenges, the bottleneck has already also been broken, so that the people, through their president generals, can reach out to the governor directly. I think all these things were put in place.
Okay.
All right. So, but the government has consistently emphasized community development all the time. Now, what general approach is being taken to ensure that all parts of the state experience this growth? It doesn't just end in one particular place. It touches everybody. What part has been ensured?
Yeah, that's what I have just said. When the governor of the government met with these president generals, it was the president generals of all the communities. So they have a body, and they meet they meet with them together. You know, it's issue whereby, so that no community will say the government is looking at this area and leaving these areas. And, you know, as a body, they also ensure that whatever thing that is being done for them is done evenly. And that is the reason today, if you watch what this government is doing in Delta State, it cuts across all the communities, all the ethnic nations, all the senatorial zones, all the local government. There's virtually no local government or no constituency that developmental strides are not taking place.
Okay. All right.
You beat your chest to say that every local government have been experiencing this growth.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Let's move forward and talk about security. As you know, in every state, security is almost key, very important. Now, last year, September, you called for stronger connection between communities and the Nigerian police. What steps have been taken to improve security in communities, and what impact have these efforts made so far?
Yes, what we did then was to assure the police that the various communities are not going to leave the security of lives and properties for them alone, that there should be a closer ties, because the community people, they are the first police that they know. And without them letting the police, who are either at the headquarters or the police division, if they don't have a synergy, they will be able to know that certain breakdown of laws and order are taking place. So that is where we created that synergy.
Okay. Between
between the police and the communities. And that is the reason why, that is the reason most of all the communities, they have these community vigilantes.
Okay.
Will you say the vigilantes are working? Because
Yes,
there are still some small issues going here
To an
and there.
extent.
So would you say they are working?
Yes, I think they are working, because
more
you know
needs
that
to be
if
done?
they are not in existence at all,
Yes.
you can imagine the
What
level
will
of
happen?
the insecurity
Okay.
that will be taking place in these communities.
Okay, all right.
All right. So speaking about infrastructure, we know that it is a major driver of economic progress. Yeah. Now, what areas of development have received the most attention? What particular field would you say that yes, this is the part that the government have given the most attention, and why do they have that priority?
Well, every good government operating a good governance would not give its total attention to a specific area.
Okay.
This government is facing all the areas: education, agriculture, infrastructural development, health sector. If you look at what is going on right now, all these sectors are given
been touched.
equal priorities. Because the situation whereby maybe, let's for instance, you are just giving attention to only infrastructural development. People will tell you that when we are hungry, who will drive through the roads? Or when you don't give enough attention to health, that you are just facing education. It is people, when people are sick, how will they be able to attend schools and all that?
Yeah,
So
know,
that is the
because
reason
most
government has
people-
given even
Yeah.
attention to all the various sectors.
Yes, most people actually have this belief that infrastructure is gaining more priority than
yes.
the education system and also the health sector.
Yes, when you talk of infrastructure gaining more, the same health sector and education, they also have infrastructures. That is the
I'm
reason.
talking about roads, though.
That is the
when I mean
reason-
infrastructure, I'm talking about road. You know, when it was Okowa's tenure, he was made the road master, and now Sheriff has come up. Governor Sheriff has come
And
up.
almost following
It's
suit because
also
he's doing
road.
amazing with
But we
roads.
don't
Yes,
hear-
maybe people are doing that misconception. The reason why they are looking that is because of the magnitude of the road infrastructure. Like for instance, now if you go to Enere Junction, have you visited? You know
I've been there.
the whole because you know when they talk of this infrastructure, people always look at what Julius Berger is doing in Warri. They only look at only a full runabout, DSO runabout, because that is the
It's a magnificent.
because that is the
Or the
route
main
that
road.
people normally pass. If you
Yes.
go to Enere Junction,
Yes.
that place is a different place entirely right now.
Okay, maybe
The
you
whole
should
of-
just highlight some key projects that have been completed or are in progress along with their expected timelines, if possible. Because I see we're
Some
excited
visuals,
with all
yeah.
these infrastructures, especially with
That
the
is-
visuals that
I think
we
that
can
is
see.
that is Enere Junction for
Yes.
Oh wow!
you. That is Enere Junction for you. And now, if you look at that place, you can see that it is like a construction community.
Site,
They will know
yes.
that this is the usual busy Enere Junction. Are you getting me now?
Yes.
And by the time this place is fully completed, and I believe with the magnitude of work done, I think they've done beyond even what is expected of them within the time limit that they move into that site.
Okay, so
Are you
it will be
getting me now?
completed soon.
Definitely, from what you are saying, you should know that they're going to meet up targets.
Okay, that's a massive work there, we have to say, and of course we have to commend the state governor for doing the most.
Yeah, thank you. Then again,
Yes.
if you go to, like, for instance, the school of, recently the governor introduced School of Medical Sciences in
Yes.
this Ozoro University. If you go there and if you go into the school, the place is like another construction site.
State of
There are magnificent construction going on inside that place.
So
You
just
getting
to
me?
make it state of the art.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
Then if you go to the School of Health Technology, that is another different ball game
Okay,
entirely.
Okay.
So that is to tell you that the education, health, and all that, they're all having the same equal attention.
Okay,
So you-
Honorable Sir, let's talk about youth. As you know that An idle mind is the devil's workshop. So let us know, because engaging the youth is important for social stability. What programs are in place to empower young people, and how do this initiative fit into the government's long-term development goals?
I think the Commissioner for Youth is doing so much.
Okay.
I think he has embarked on several youth activities. He's engaging them, and I think so far so good. The young man is doing well because he is one of them.
Okay.
It's not like before now that you have a youth commissioner that is not youth friendly, but this one is interacting with them, and I think majority of the most youth of Delta say they're happy with what he is doing for them.
Okay. Well, looking beyond the present and looking at what all that have been taking place, or all that the state government have been doing, what vision does the government have for Delta State as a whole, Delta's development, and how does it plan to sustain this progress? It's not just by starting this. How does it plan to sustain, make sure that it doesn't die there?
Well, you can see that we're just less than 2 years in office.
Sure.
And this much has been done, and you can see the applaud, the accolade, like I think yesterday or the before yesterday also, Honorable Jerogene Waive, the House of Rep member representing Udu Ugeli Federal Constituency, who is even an APC member. He is saying that with what Governor Sheriff have done, it will be very difficult for anybody to defeat him in the next election. And this
So his shoes are very
complementing
big.
this is complementing
Yes.
even all the awards he has gotten from Abuja, and even the applaud from the presidency. So that is to tell you that the man is doing something extraordinary to ensure that Delta State is getting it right, and the people will be happy that they have the best governor so far that they sought for.
Okay. Sir, but realistically, government projects sometimes face challenges like funding issues, environmental factors, or bureaucratic delays. Now, how does your office deal with these challenges to ensure that development initiative run smoothly?
When you implement projects that are in the that
Yes.
are needs of the people,
Yes.
I think they will definitely be sustainable.
Okay.
Oftentimes, projects were done based on maybe connections that or needs of the contractor. I have connection with the government, and what can I do to empower myself? You will just go and collect a contract that you think you can easily execute and make money. But now this government is not implementing projects like that. It's implementing projects through needs assessment. What is really the actual need of the people? Are you getting it now? So I think most of all the projects, they are viable projects, and they are sustainable projects, because when you do exactly what the people want, the people will definitely put them in use.
Okay. All right.
So as SA to the governor on community development.
I'm sorry, I'm not an essay to the governor.
Okay.
Executive assistant
Executive
to the governor.
assistant. Pardon me, yes. Executive assistant to the governor on community development. Now, how do you collaborate with other sectors, to drive the policy of His Excellency home?
Yeah, just like what we're doing now. We're meeting up all sectors, because when you say community development, all the various sectors are embedded in community development. So we reach out to all of them. We also ensure that every department, they are doing the right thing, and also bringing what is happening in certain departments to the people. Because oftentimes we meet with all the communities, we go around all the communities and let them know that this is what is happening in the agri department, ministry. This is what's happening in the youth ministry. This is what is happening in this, so that they can all take advantages of them. So we are like a
Is it a
bridge
one-time
between,
thing?
not a one-time thing.
So when was the last time you visited?
Quarterly,
Okay.
quarterly, we invite them. We go even to the communities for advocacy visit. We get their feelings, and we come back also, and we move from various ministries to ministries, letting them know that this is the pulse of the people.
Okay, Honorable, just rounding up, let us know, because of course you have a dream, big dreams. What key community development goals do you want to achieve before this administration ends? And what can the people of Delta State expect? Now, merge this with public opinion, because public opinion is important. Now, let us know what steps are being taken to inform citizens about government projects so that they know what is happening in their communities. Because a lot of persons don't know. But trust me, we are aware that the governor is doing the most. But how do you make sure that people are aware of these things happening?
Like what we are doing now,
Yes.
letting the people know, because when you are in your village, you won't know what is happening in the other village. But when you are informed that this is what is happening in the other cities, you will know that yes, it is not just only in your community that what they are doing there that is being done. It is also being done in all the other communities. So we reach out and also educate the people and also let the people know that this is what the government is doing, and we publicize them. If we don't publicize them, how will people in Abuja know that this is what is happening in all the various sectors of Delta State or the various communities of Delta State?
Right.
So we are reaching out
Okay.
and also educating the people.
Okay, thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so
We
much.
You're
truly
welcome.
appreciate you did justice to all the questions that were asked on this set. Well, we've been speaking extensively with Honorable Emakbo Odogu and his executive assistant to the governor on community development, and we've been talking on governance and development driving progress in Delta State. Liliver, your last words, please.
To him.
Yes, as we round up on this set.
Okay, I thought we wanted to still ask him further questions because I would
Time is
definitely-
fast
You have
spent.
good
I'll
questions
definitely
from me.
let you
We
go.
would expect you to come back here.
If okay, well, maybe next time.
Yes,
but if you
we
still have the
definitely
time,
will
I'm very
expect you to come
ready. I'm ready to
No, there will
answer
be a
all the
part two.
questions.
There will be a part two.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Anytime, call on me any day, anytime. I'll be here
We
to
will be
Yeah.
glad
answer
to.
your questions.
Thank you
and,
so
like
much
seeing
for that
you people
privilege.
on there.
Thank you
so
so
much.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
All right, so as we round off, I would like to tell you this beautiful morning, don't let what they say define you, okay? Do not let whatever they say define you. Define yourself all by yourself. Have a beautiful day. My name is Lilibet Uguchukwu.
All right, from me, what I have to say is Delta State is for me and you. Of course, the Nigerian police, they are doing their jobs, but remember that the state is for me and you. So if you see something, do say something. Okay, on behalf of board management and staff, we want to say thank you for riding with us. A big shout out to our supervising producer in person of Nimibofa Ozibo, our producer in person of Vivian Nkechika, the magic finger behind the MCR, Alex Afodu, and the magic hand on the camera right now in person of Eunice Akborobaro. We want to say thank you for riding with us this morning. I'm Cheesy Awuno. God bless Nigeria and God bless Delta State. We're out.
really live the life, you should have someone or a community of like-minded people who can have your back in the good times and in the bad times.
And of course, we have your back too,
Yes.
which is why we bring you informative episodes that will help you live an all-round balanced life.
That's it. Yeah, honestly, we need support systems.
Yes, I
in
feel like
whatever-
our mothers were even more, blessed with those
Okay.
support systems than now. I might be wrong, but I feel like those days
Yes,
there
I
was
think so.
either one aunt, one cousin always living with them to help with taking care of the children, to help with one thing or the other.
True.
It really took a village.
Yeah, honestly, yes.
Then-
I remember we had aunts in the house.